What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Transparency's Idaho 4. It actually should say all true crime here. Friendsgiving special episode with Jennifer Drake as my co-host. How you feeling, Jennifer? Jennifer, are you there? You guys remember my friend Jennifer Drake, right? Jen, don't be bashful.
911, what is the address of the emergency? Oh my goodness, somebody please go to my husband. He's in Monastery. He was on the phone with me and he just all of a sudden yelled out and said he thought he got shot, and then all of a sudden the phone went dead. Okay, ma'am, I had a hard time understanding you, so can you take a deep breath and slow down for me? I couldn't understand what you said. Okay.
Yes, Jen, please slow down. We're all trying to hang out with you. Friendsgiving right here. I am thankful for Jennifer Drake. Why? Because she really turned me on to the nature of Idaho and their law enforcement agencies. She really gave me a very, very good look into sneak peek behind the curtains for the Idaho 4 case. This is Jennifer Drake's 911 call after her husband allegedly got shot on the phone with her.
To get up to this address at 6811 South Main Street in Bonners Ferry, Idaho. I was just on the phone with my husband, and all of a sudden he yelled and said, "Ow, ow," and then all of a sudden he goes, "I think somebody just shot through the window into my side." And then all of a sudden, the phone dropped, and it went dead. He wouldn't answer. Boundary County? Yes, he's in Boundary County. It's down 11 South Main Street. Hold on just a moment, okay? Hold on just a moment. Okay, I'm going to put you through to Bonner County. Okay, I want you to stay on the line. Don't hang up, and you need to explain that the emergency is at that location in Bonners Ferry. Stay on the line. Okay. Stay on the line. Hello? Stay on the line. 911, what is the address of your emergency? Oh, please, what is this? 11 South Main Street.
Okay, so then what would happen here is that this part of the recording, there's no more to it. Well, there is more to it.
There's more. Okay, I understand. And now I couldn't understand what you said. Can you say the address again? 6811 South Main Street, Suite D. It's at Drake Chiropractic of North Idaho. Okay, and what city is that in? It's in Bonners Ferry, Idaho. Okay. Okay, you've reached Bonner County, so I've got to get you over to. Okay, so bear with me for just 1 second. What's going on there? Oh, I was on the phone with him, and he was fine, and then all of a sudden he yelled and said, "Ow!" He goes, "Oh my gosh, I think I was just shot. Somebody just shot through the window into my side," and then all of a sudden he dropped the phone, and he wouldn't answer. Okay. Hold on for me just a second, okay? Hold on. Is he conscious? I think he may not be. If he was conscious, he would have called me back. Are you able to do CPR on him? I'm not there. I didn't. This is business up there. I'm 2 hours away. This is Bonner County.
Right there. It freezes up the girl that was taking the 911 call. She's like, "I'm like 2 hours away." Right there, the girl has to she pauses because she's already ran the geolocation and it's popped up, and she knows that she's not 2 hours away. She knows that that's not accurate. The wildest 911 call I've ever heard in my life, that it gets transferred 2 times and then finally to this destination here.
A transfer for a possible gunshot at 6811 South Main Street, Suite B at a chiropractor's office in Bonners Ferry. Okay. And the caller is calling from 512-626-3618. Yes. She states that there was she spoke to a man who thinks that he just got shot, and then I was on the phone with my husband, and then he stopped talking to her. Okay. Go ahead, caller. He just was on the phone talking. He just got done working. That's my husband, and all of a sudden he yells, and he yelled, "Ow, ow!" And I said, "What's wrong?" Something just hit me, something horrible. It's like a gunshot just hit my side, and then all of a sudden it was like, and I kept yelling and trying to yell at him. I thought he was conscious. He would have called me back.
She changes her story a little bit. She kind of messes up a little bit too, because at first she's like, when he said that, I thought like he like something like fell and like hit him like from the ceiling or something. Like I didn't understand what he was saying. But as you can see clearly in this 911 call, she's like, he told me that he was hit in the side with a gun. With a gunshot. Dude, I mean, this is the work though of the Idaho State Police. So I just want to jump right in and tell you guys how thankful I am for this.
Okay, yeah. It's 6811 South Main Street. Okay, he just got done working. That's my husband, and all of a sudden he yells, and he yelled, "Ow, ow!" And I said, "What's wrong?" Something just hit me, something horrible. It's like a gunshot just hit my side, and then all of a sudden it was like
a gunshot just hit my side.
And I kept yelling and trying.
Guys, so pretty much at 4. Let me just tell you pretty much what happened at 4. What do you guys think? Pretty much, let me just tell you what happened at 4. You guys, this is Friendsgiving. Good morning. Come on in. I have a co-host with me. Her name is Jennifer Drake. Hi, Jennifer. How are you? Fuck you, Lana. Well, Jennifer, I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy that you're so happy to be here. So my co-host here, Jennifer, be kind.
I yell at him. I thought he was conscious. He would have called me back. Okay, yeah. What's the address then? He is at 6811 South Main Street, Suite B.
How many times can you say this address? Now, check this out, guys. There has been movement in Bonners Ferry. I've been sitting on this news for like the past couple weeks. I mean, sitting on it. I'm like, what should I do? When should I tell my crowd about it? Well, today's the day, Friendsgiving. I've got to keep giving. None other than Michael Valenzuela, the cop who is a responding officer. He was with the sheriff's department down there. Then he goes to being a Bonners. I think he was a Bonners Ferry police officer for a hot second, but he was with the sheriff. They intertwine over there like really frequently. They're always showing up at the same time at places. But Michael Valenzuela, first of all, he has lost like so much weight. He looks really, really good. Good job, Mike. I would love to talk, Mike. I think you know a ton. Anyways, he is no longer with the department. Now, rumor has it, tea time. Rumor has it that Mike Valenzuela was supposed to be the sheriff's main right-hand guy. Guess who was just hired to be sheriff in that town? None other than Travis Stoley. Travis Stoley was one of the little patrolmen who responded to this scene wearing no gloves, like literally not knowing what to do. And this was just back in 2020. Now here, fast forward, and somehow Travis Stoley gets freaking people went out and voted for this man, this young man. He's young, and he's now the sheriff of the town. Travis Stoley was like, "Hey, Mike Valenzuela, I'm going to make you like my right hand, like my main deputy, whatever." That's what was supposed to happen. Then I don't know if they got a hold of any of my videos because Mike Valenzuela shot a woman back in the day, and it was really bad. Like like it's something that you could actually see right now today when we're seeing all these cops being charged. And is it murder? Is it whatever? I think he could have potentially been charged because I mean, I have no idea why he shot, but this was back in Bonner County, so like Sandpoint. So fast forward to today, and all of a sudden, Mike Venezuela is like basically let go and is no longer with the department, yeah, any department. And rumor has it that Mike Venezuela was not willing to play ball anymore. And that brings me to here, Travis Stoley, Mike Venezuela, they responded to this incident in 2020, the Brian Drake murder. I make a comment on one of the Facebook pages. Of course, they see my name and they're like, oh God, we have to run from Atlanta. They delete my comment on a public Facebook page where I am asking Travis Stoley to, hey, let's bring back up the Dr. Moore case. You know, why are you have an unsolved homicide on your hands? Let's get it going. So Mike Venezuela, all of a sudden, no longer with the department. He responded earlier that morning of the Drake murder or homicide, because according to the Idaho State Police, they believe that a man didn't mean to shoot him and kill him, but a man just meant to scare him to get him out of town because he was stealing patients. But really, that's not what was happening. But earlier that day, Mike Venezuela received a call from that area, and he responded. And they have suppressed and buried my requests to get my hands on what occurred earlier that morning. And there was a transient man living right outside the door of Brian Drake's office business where he and other people had their practices. And there was a transient man, and none other than Marty Ryan was the one who was the police assistant chief at the time. He comes over and he basically kicks out this transient man and his belongings. But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that everybody was over at the coffee shop next door, that the coffee shop had hella cameras and that they just buried them and acted like they weren't recording and didn't record. But yet I have like three employees that have provided me with a whole shit slew of stuff. 3, not 1, not 2, 3 sources of mine. So they think that this case has gone away. This case hasn't gone anywhere because I am writing a book and doing a documentary on this case. And it's going to be part of my documentary with the Idaho4 case. And guess who I think would be a phenomenal person to have write the story? James motherfucking Patterson, baby. James Patterson. And guess who I think should be a co-writer of the book? Jennifer Drake. Yes, Jennifer. I think that a book is best told by all sides. I don't want a one-sided book. I want all of it. Well, I think the Moores should talk in it. I think Jennifer Drake should talk in it. I think I should talk in it. I think that I should put out some evidence in that book. I also think that there should be a matching documentary with the book. And I think that it would be best served for the community that all the sources come out and get to tell their side of the story. Again, this is, if you type in Brian Drake, chiropractor, 2020 Bonners Ferry. But I think an important part should be coming from the police officers themselves. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this case. Because I got more tea. Okay? I have more tea. I want to also talk about how these defense attorneys, these private practices, as well as people that claim to be public defenders, how they all work in concert with the prosecutors. And therefore, It is not about justice. It's about taming it all. It is wild in Idaho.
Drake chiropractic in North Idaho. Okay, what's his name? His name is Brian Drake. I'm his wife. Okay, what's your name? What is your name, ma'am? Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Okay, Jennifer.
Speak up, Jen.
I'm going to send people out there right now to check on him, okay?
Brian and Jennifer were 1,000%, 1,000%, like all chips in, swingers. How would that go over with the church? How does that go over with the church? Woo-wee, you guys. So the only way that I could do my Idaho4 documentary is if I included the Brian Drake case, because you have to understand where I was coming from the entire time when I would be talking about things about the Idaho4 on my channel, where I get the mustard to claim the stuff that I'm claiming. And I'm claiming it because I actually have proof, like physical, like in my hands, proof of past cases, is specifically this case and how the Idaho State Police operate and who's basically operating. But then also I have the FBI Special Task Force people, the Ed Jacobsons of the world. And I think that everybody needs to understand in Idaho how all of this shit works. And so I came across this case because of the Idaho4 case, right? And it was an integral part of my coverage of the Idaho4 was asking people to come along this journey, and you need to see this case. You need to understand the background and the history of these different areas in Idaho. And so I've went out to Idaho multiple times. I didn't just stay in Moscow. I went to Spokane. I went to Coeur d'Alene. I went to Bonners Ferry. I went to Sandpoint. Went to Clark's. Went to Lewiston. I went everywhere. I was over in Pullman, And for a good old city girl like myself, and how Ohio is situated, you go to Idaho and it's just like, whoa, it's just totally different. Just totally different. So anyways, I am thankful that Jennifer Drake made the mistakes that she made, because it secures that an innocent man will never go to prison for the murder of Brian Drake.
Sure. I'm going to send people up there right now, okay? Thank you. Do you guys call me back? Of course. Is this a good phone number to reach you at the 512-626?
Okay. So I was able to uncover in this Brian Drake case how the whole 911 system works. Well, Jennifer Drake's Cellbrite does not record a 911 call ever even happening from her cell phone, number one. Number two, I was able to find out that Jennifer Drake has multiple Google numbers. Okay. I was able to find that out from her Cellbrite. I was able to find out that Kootenai County Dispatch never even has a call that originated. Like they never got a call. And then I was able to partially interview the girl that took this phone call from Bonner to transfer it the second time. Her name was Tiffany, and I was able to talk to her, and she actually took the call. She told me, and she's like, yeah, that was pinging off of one of our towers that was by Walmart. And I said, thank you, exactly. Because as everybody knows, wherever you're at, if I'm located here at my home and I call 911, it's going to send me to the 911 that I'm wherever I'm at. Like even if I'm on the phone with you and you're getting shot in Atlanta, Georgia, okay? If I call 911 from Ohio, I'm dealing with dispatch in Ohio. Okay? So when Jennifer Drake said that she was at home with her daughter and she's given multiple accounts, was she in her bedroom? Was she in the living room? She said, I'll never forget that day where I was. But she's given multiple accounts of it. Okay. Well, then why doesn't Kootenai County there should be a 911 call? I give this information to Idaho State Police. Okay, I give it to the news channels, asking them to cover it. I said, here, I'll give you the 911 call. You need to cover this case. This is while we're waiting for the Idaho4 to happen. Here, you want a pretty big break in the story here? You want a pretty big piece of the pie? Nobody wanted to touch this case. Not a single person that wanted to cover that's I would say local media there in Idaho, but also like higher up in like mainstream media. So I'm going to try to convince Anjanette Levy, okay, to take a peek at this case. And it shouldn't take any convincing of anything. Okay, here it's a very interesting case. It has it all. But I just want to talk about, this is when everybody was all being suspicious of the 911 call that they weren't releasing in the Idaho4 case. And so it piqued my interest in how this all played out. And I was like, wow, Jennifer Drake cannot prove that she made a 911 call from her cell phone, and nor can they prove that Jennifer Drake was at home at the time that she made her 911 call, because there is no record of a 911 call being taken at Kootenai County Dispatch in Hayden, where she lives. And so what that means is there's a big problem there, because in the probable cause affidavit, they're saying that, and putting it in writing, that Jennifer Drake was at home when she made that 911 call. She was not at home when she made that 911 call. At least I could tell you this: there is no way to prove that. And in fact, if you interview or, I don't know, interrogate the people that took the call, the transfer call, they're going to tell you that she was on a Sandpoint Tower, which is only 45 minutes from Brian Drake. Not 2 hours. Anyways. So, Busted Flush, what's up? Welcome to the transparency. Lana is undoubtedly the best investigator of all the true crime channels. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's like a high bar. This woman deserves 1 million subs. Only one I joined. Oh, thanks, Busted Flush. Okay, so now I have a bunch more everyone's been saying how they miss Jennifer, miss the coverage of Jennifer. How in the world did Jennifer Drake get a $15 million settlement? Well, threats, and corruption. Can you guys believe it? Jennifer Drake, the woman on this 911 call, there's been no murder trial. None. There's been no plea deal and someone's serving time. None. How does somebody get awarded $15 million for a wrongful death suit? And no criminal case has ever graced the Idaho courts. Only in Idaho. I think that needs to be the title of the book. Only in Idaho, man. Only in Idaho. Plus $1 million from life insurance, which she got in like 3 weeks. I've never heard of anybody getting paid out that quickly. She made like double-digit calls. Do you guys know that that Scott Peterson never called his life insurance people? Not one time did Scott Peterson ever call for life insurance that they had. Not once. Never. Jennifer Drake called her life insurance policy people over 10 times in a 2-week period. In fact, Jennifer Drake had other people calling on her behalf. Jennifer Drake got her $1 million. Like they were at the information gathering stage of the investigation. Think about this. When the 4 students were murdered in Idaho, in Moscow, it took them how long to arrest somebody? Okay. 6 weeks, 7 weeks. In the Jennifer Drake's case, she was able to get, without an arrest, without anything moving and going during COVID, mind you, she was able to get a $1 million check within 3 weeks of his murder. How? How? Well, I'll tell you how. Jennifer Drake was begging Marty Ryan, who was chief of police, to talk to her insurance company. She was asking Mike Van Leuven. She was asking Gary Tellison to tell these people at her insurance that she's not a suspect, or that something like that they need to talk to you. So I inquired about that. But this case was just starting, and there is no way in hell that you could rule out Jennifer Drake. And in fact, I don't care if you did, or Jennifer Drake would never be ruled out. She is the wife of the man that's lying on the ground. Okay. Jennifer Drake called life insurance people before Brian Drake's body was lifted off the floor of his office. What, Lana? Yes. Jennifer Drake was Airbnb-ing their own home out. Not like a rental property. No, their own home. She installed cameras in the house. Okay. Started putting her own home out on websites, renting it out while her family, her and her kids and Brian, would go then camping for the week or the weekend, or go to her parents' house, or go to family's house. That's how bad they needed money. The police asked Jennifer, do you work? Do you have any income? Jennifer left all that out. I mean, what? That's right. That's right. Right before, I shouldn't say immediately right before, but leading up into Brian's death, when did they get these life insurance policies? She tried to get a $1.25 million life insurance policy. Oh, that's right. There wasn't Jennifer Drake wasn't, there was no life insurance policy on Jennifer, just on Brian. And the wife's not a suspect. You guys, Scott Peterson didn't call for any of his life insurance, right? Jennifer Drake calls 10 times. Brian only had life insurance on him, but Jennifer had none. Also, they ask her about that. The police ask her about that. And she said that she wasn't worth insuring because there's not, I mean, what? She had the bizarre answers for stuff. Oh, you know how you fill out the reports and it does it automated when you're, it'll tell you the phone number that you call from, or it'll tell you if police talk with people or whatever. Well, that 911 call that happened in the generated reports from that, it had Jennifer Drake's best friend's cell phone number as Jennifer Drake's home phone number. That was the first person that she said that she was with after getting the 911 call, who she got in a car with and drove then. She was on her way to Bonners Ferry then. And then in the middle of it, of driving, she said she got a call from Marty Ryan, the assistant police chief, telling her that Brian was dead and to turn around and to go back. Come again? First of all, that's out of protocol. You would never tell somebody while they were driving anything like that. They teach you that. You're not going to give somebody news of that while they're driving to cause like a accident, cause them a heart attack. That's not how you give a death notice. You don't tell somebody while they're driving. And then they say that you need to just turn back. There's nothing you can do down here. It's dangerous. And to just go, go back home. And then she doesn't go back home. Instead, she goes over to her friend's house. And she's texting and calling this missionary guy to tell, hey, make sure the kids are okay. And she doesn't tell the kids anything. She lies to the kids and doesn't tell them anything until the next morning at noon. Wow. It's just crazy. Only in Idaho. So, yeah, the Brian Drake case, I don't know how somebody is awarded $15 million plus $1 million in the life insurance policy. And literally, I spoon-fed from this channel and making phone calls to say, here, you guys messed up. Here's what your Excel spreadsheet didn't show, which was Eldora Gatchel still being at Brian's office. She lied when she said that she left. There was multiple vehicles involved in this homicide, and there was a meth dealer that was blowing up Brian's phone just minutes after a supposed, he was shot. And that meth local dealer, from Sandpoint, he was actually on the geofence and in the area and on the towers making that phone call when it should have never. I mean, if he lives in Sandpoint, you're never going to be on those towers. You'd physically have to be there, or your phone. And that phone, they never, you can't find any interviews of the police wanting to know who was calling Brian or who Brian potentially called that day or right after he was shot. I mean, it just takes a little bit of work. I mean, when I say a little bit of work, I mean just literally a little bit of work. But see, I think that they had it all. I think that they buried it. And I'm over here like, dude, this is the most egregious case. This is wild. And the reason it should grab all of your guys' attention is because all of these people that worked on this case were working on the Idaho4 case. Doing shady ass shit. And it's like, why? Well, because the truth can never come out in Idaho. We have to put narratives on everything in Idaho. And then where does the FBI come in on this? Ed Jacobson was involved in the in Brian Drake's murder case. He was part of this investigative task force with the FBI out of Coeur d'Alene. Well, geez. Ed Jacobson is the same guy that signed off on Nick Balance's report. Come again? Yeah. When I was digging through all this stuff, I was like, who signed off on Nick Balance's report? None other than Ed Jacobson. Ed Jacobson, I think he has a really good relationship with Dateline. Like, really good. Jennifer Drake was working with Shane Bishop from Dateline. Like this. Shane Bishop's the guy that was the producer of the Dateline episodes that leaked all that shit and was the one that was given Brian's Cellbrite. Jennifer Drake accused the Moores of not showing up and going forward with the civil case because of Dateline. Because Dateline was going to be there. What? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. No, that's actually false. That's 1000% false. Like 1,000,000% false. Jill Bolton knows that Dan Moore didn't kill nobody. 1,000,000% false. But I just like literally cannot believe that she even like said that. Anyways, what else do I put out here? Let's see.
So,
oh yeah, this is so good.
In our records,
okay,
we're hitting off the, and it's all in CAD notes and was all recorded calls, which I got my hands on. And in those recorded line-to-line calls, the woman from Kootenai County could not find the call that she had just transferred like within an hour ago. So my question to all of you guys out there, mainstream media, most importantly, is we have a wife that's saying she's making a 911 call. It's not in her call records. It's not with the dispatch records, right? So we have no idea what time this call, in fact, truly took place. We have a CAD note jumbled mess of when actually calls were coming through and who's being dispatched. But more importantly, we have Kootenai County saying that there is no 911 call that exists that this woman or anybody for that matter called for Brian Drake on that day. And then we have the lead investigator waiting till the last possible moment before a preliminary hearing was set to take place on 11/2/2020, where on the night before at 11/1/2020, the lead investigator slips in
to Discovery. He writes up a report and puts in this report
on 11/1/2020.
Like this is how they operate. Look at this shit.
20 just got his hands allegedly like this. This is all he writes as this
is the night before the preliminary hearing, or right thereafter, or he doesn't put in the 911 calls. The supplement is drawn by Sergeant Mike Van Leeuwen for the purposes of adding evidence. The following items were added under this supplement. Exhibit number blank blank, a compact disc containing 911 audio recordings of Jennifer Drake calling the Kootenai County and Bonner County 911 dispatch centers. They tried to enter 911 calls into evidence at the preliminary hearing. This has never happened in all the years that I've ever covered cases. Where they tried to get the defense attorney to stipulate to these 911 calls, but then they realized, they're like, okay, we're gonna have to call Jennifer Drake to the stand. And I'm like, why would you ever have to call Jennifer Drake to the stand to authenticate a 911 call? Why aren't you authenticating it through the fact that it is part of the record, part of the case? Yeah, it's because it's not. It's because it's all fucking fucked. It's because you can't authenticate it that way. And so I caught this and I gave it to Jill Bolton, Dan's defense attorney. And I was like, because I did public requests. And I just can't believe how egregious this is.
He's a lead detective in this case, Mike Van Leeuwen, for the purpose of adding evidence. The centers. Well, actually, she also talked to Boundary County Dispatch. Like, why wouldn't this be entered into evidence, say, I don't know, within the week of the murder? Why wouldn't this be listened to by numerous officers?
Yeah, so this is my argument, is that when you go and look through these supplemental reports, is that Mike Van Leeuwen never says when he got the 911 call. Like, wouldn't you, as an investigator, be listening to a 911 call, I don't know, the day or two after the 911 call took place? When did you ever listen to the 911 call? Because it makes absolutely no sense. And it's the most fucked up 911 call, right? So, like, when did you actually... So there's no chain of custody on this 911 call. And that's why I pointed out to... Like, you could argue it and you would have a really strong argument.
This is Kootenai County. I have a transfer here from a woman that Boundary County. So when she gave you the address,
Let's see what I recorded here.
I couldn't understand what you said. Okay. I need somebody to get up to this address at 6811.
woman out involved in.
His wife says he was wholesome, a man of God, loved music and family.
He was amazing. We had it all. We really did.
Brian and Jennifer married in '99. Love at first sight.
Oh, it was.
Was it?
Yes, we met at church.
Brian's career took them.
Right here, I want to start this from the beginning.
But it's pretty much straight from theirs. All right. This is Jennifer Drake doing her thing. And so this is on my episode, my pilot for this case.
Is intended to show only that there is sufficient probable cause for the requested warrant and does not set forth all of my knowledge about this matter. I have set forth only the facts necessary to support a finding of probable cause and any facts that would lead the court to not find probable cause on the charges. My knowledge of the facts set forth in this act
To Idaho Supreme Court, which ruled by a district court to be coerced. However, prosecutors appealed and the fight went to Idaho Supreme Court, which dismissed various parts of the argument.
The end result is that charges could be refiled against Moore, but as of tonight, there was no one facing criminal charges for the death of Dr. Drake.
The investigation into what happened that March evening is ongoing, and now the Drake family is getting creative to try to generate new tips and leads.
And they tell our Help Me Haley they want justice. They will stop at nothing to get it.
Small town community, closely knit.
Bonners Ferry, Idaho.
Got a lot of family-oriented people, a lot of people that attend local churches.
The address for about 2,500, home of the Badgers. Nestled along the Kootenai River, the Selkirk Mountains almost serving as protectors from evil until they couldn't.
How did you find out what happened? I was on the phone with him when it happened.
Just like the community where murder victim Dr. Brian Drake would launch his successful chiropractor business. His wife says he was wholesome, a man of God, loved music and family.
He was amazing.
He was addicted to porn.
We had it all. We really did.
Jennifer was spying on him. She was watching him on Life 360 24/7. He put an app on his phone to keep her out of his phone. It was called Hidden Eye app. And anybody that would try to enter his password in to try to get into his phone, it would take a picture of you. And I was able to uncover that Brian Drake, on the night before his murder, somebody tried to get into his phone at like 5 or 6 in the afternoon. Actually, maybe it was more like 7:30 p.m. And the person that was actually trying to get into his phone, you know, they take a picture of the front part and the back part of the phone, and they take multiple. I was able to find that person was none other than Jennifer Drake trying to break into her husband's phone the night before he was murdered. And she told police officers that he didn't have a password on his phone. There shouldn't be one on his phone. But there was the night before, and you were trying to break into it, but you didn't tell that to the police. He says you guys have a great marriage. And so how does it take me going through the Cellbrite and the extraction to find all this stuff out? These people had to know that. And you're just fine with the wife lying to you? The person that's supposed to be person of interest number one, just because of your relationship with the victim? That's like 101.
Brian and Jennifer married in '99. Love at first sight.
Oh, it was.
Was it?
Yes, we met at church.
Brian's career took them to Montana, Texas, and finally North Idaho, welcoming babies along the way.
We have 4. We have 3 boys and a girl. Very few people ever win the lottery like I did.
They had hit that sweet spot in life by the time Brian, Dr. Drake, opened up his own office along this stretch of Main Street in Bonners Ferry.
A great chiropractor, as opinion from his wife.
But also his patience.
Very compassionate. He helped me out a lot.
She didn't want her face on camera.
Okay. So they put up
Without
this $10,000 reward in March of 2023. So at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, I want to cover this case. Well, I want to go make my 10,000. And I've been asking for my $10,000 reward and I have yet to receive it because I totally gave enough tips to lead to an arrest and a conviction, in my opinion, of the people that were involved in Brian Drake's murder. In order to solve a case, you have to have the correct motive. It helps. You don't have to prove motive, but if you have the correct motive, then you're going to be able to solve a case. Okay. Brian Drake was not killed because of patience, because of chiropractic patience. Okay. It's not why Brian Drake was killed. All right. Brian Drake was killed because of something completely different. And also, last time I checked, the last person to see somebody alive is always a person of interest as well. And you have to do a really good job in your investigation to rule that person out. And here, we have an eyewitness in this case that saw somebody fleeing after hearing gunshots, plural. And that person is none other than Caleb Kakoa Nazara, who the eyewitness identified like to a T. All of his clothing, everything. And I have on a recording the detectives admitting that man, he totally nails this guy and what he was wearing and everything like that. And how do we know that he nailed it? Because Eldora Gatchel went to go get her back adjusted, brought her brother. He was supposed to get his back allegedly adjusted. And Eldora Gatchel starts recording her brother in the patient waiting room playing a ukulele. And his entire outfit can be seen. And let me tell you what they did. They put this out on Facebook, okay? Back in the day before I ever came along in this case. And they blacked out the person that was actually playing the ukulele. Like this could have been seen on Facebook pages back in the day. And I was like, why are they blacking this person out? Well, now I know why. All this time when I come along, I was like, oh my God, because what he's wearing in his description, it matches to a T the eyewitness's description. His clothing, his dark skin, his goatee, his beanie, his all black with a gray vest. I mean, everything. They were never, Eldora Gatchel had a group interview with her brother, her husband, her niece. That's not how you do interviews. Mike Van Leuven, Rich Alderson, Leslie Lehman, Gary Tolson, all of that district over there, Idaho State Police District. Just a damn sin. So Idaho State Police know, I mean, this is it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Let's see what else I got on my bag of tricks here. Playlist. You know whose interview is wild is Jennifer Drake's sister. Let me see if I have Eldora though. Oh, this one's good. This is the probable cause. Okay, guys, the probable cause was like 19 pages, the same as the Idaho4 case, basically.
What's the problem here? Okay. Based on the timestamp from the phones in Mrs. Drake's estimation of time of when he stopped responding, puts the time of the shooting at approximately 7:26. Mrs. Drake dialed 911 to report what she had heard.
The hearsay. None of this is admissible.
The 911.
Okay, so according to Judge Hippler's order, okay, remember how they were not going to allow anything that was said by, what's her name? Emily? This case is just like, this case irks me, man. Okay, this is the eyewitness to the man running from the scene. An eyewitness named Isaac Funderburg was outside of his apartment and near his car when he reported hearing gunshots. It's supposed to be shots from across the street. Funderburg's apartment was located directly across the street from Dr. Drake's office. Funderburg later advised he observed an adult male dressed in dark colored clothing walking northwest between Dr. Drake's building and a fence in the north side of the building immediately after hearing the shot. Funderburg said that the figure reminded him of one of the clerks that worked at the Liberty gas station, but could not be sure because of how dark it was. This is unbelievable that Van Leeuwen could get away with this. Funderburg said he yelled to the figure words to the effect, "Hey, was that you?" You guys remember, like, "Hey, I'm here to help you." Or, "Hey, I'm going to help you." Look at this. "Hey, was that you?" Referring to the gunshot. Funderburg said the man looked back at him, then he took off. Then he ran. Then he ran north of the sidewalk on Main Street and then to the northwest toward the State Farm building. I personally talked to Isaac Funderburg. He says that, yeah, Dr. Moore is not who he saw, and he knows what he saw, and he told them numerous times. And yeah.
45 and 54 seconds, and then to his work cell phone.
Where Dora is at.
Text back, because then they're not going to know who.
I broke this all the way down.
Yeah.
Oh, here. Jennifer Drake was on the phone with him for 9 minutes and 15 seconds. Miss Drake says, yes. And I would say it was probably, we talked for like 9 minutes. We were starting to go kind of round and round down. Like he needed to go to eat. And it was like the last 15 seconds, because even after he fell and the phone, it didn't go dead. I didn't hear a thump. I didn't hear, like, it literally, even when, think back to the fact that I'm like, how did I not hear a gunshot? I just heard him yell. He yelled twice. We were kind of winding down, and all of a sudden it was, his phone was like this, and all of a sudden was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, what? And he said, I think. Then he said, something just hit me. And he said it twice. Something just hit me. And I go, what do you mean? And that's when all of a sudden I could hear it, even his, this was during her interview with the police. The Detective Tollison says, did you call on this house line? I don't have a house line. It was this. I did everything on this. There's no 911 call on here though. And Bonner's Ferry called you back? I think it's Bonner's Ferry. The 208 number, it was like at 744. I called, or no, maybe I called them. Nope, they called me at 744. And all I could get from them was that the medics are there. And I kept saying, is he alive? Is he hit? Well, guess what, guys? The medics were not there at 744. And so all of this is a lie because I actually have, when the medics arrive, they didn't even find Brian yet at 7:44. Medics are there and they have people looking for a suspect. This is what she was telling the police. I said, so they are there like he's alive. All I know is medics are there and they wouldn't tell me anything else. And then the next time I talked to them, so I broke all of this down.
Brenner, his son,
Oh, the
and
good
it's for
old
7
days.
minutes and 9 seconds.
Oh, the good old.
Then you're talking.
Oh, the good old days, Eldora. I wonder what Eldora's up to nowadays. Taking us back down memory lane here. I want to find where Jennifer talks about where is her little, oh, this is members only. I'll play this since it's Thanksgiving.
It's between, like, that's the far north right there. But if you keep walking,
Oh, this is me outing them.
it's off. Okay, now he's
This is body cam footage. He was purposely covering up his body cam. And I showed that. See that? So ridiculous.
look.
Somebody heard a gunshot out there and saw a guy running, so that's why we're out here to check it out with all the. Yeah, we just want to make sure you guys are good.
Hey, John.
I said they heard it kind of in this general area over here across from my Schwab.
Okay, so these body cams were all off an hour because it was just daylight savings. So it says it's 6:50 and 54 seconds, unless they're going to come out and say that no, those body cams were right, which again, guys, we believe that they could potentially be correct, but this is what led to all this stuff in the Idaho4 case. Right here, March 12th, 2020, in the bottom right-hand corner, it says 18:50 and 54 seconds. Okay. And that would equate to 6:50 and 54 seconds. But then I thought about it like more when I was doing all my work. And I was like, well, part of me thinks that that's correct. Because I think Isaac, it's a long story.
So the guy kind of running over towards the state farm.
But let's say that they're wrong. Okay. That would make it 7:50. And you guys see how like they haven't even found Brian Drake yet. So when she's over here saying that the medic that somebody called her back at 7:44, she's jumping ahead and she's lying. Jennifer Drake is lying about why she received this phone call. I broke all this on down. I have all of these cops' numbers calling because I have all the cell towers and I have every phone call outgoing and coming. And I can prove what all these cops were doing leading up to this shit. And it was fucking nasty shit. Okay. They were all in cahoots. Happy Thanksgiving. But check this out.
I told you careful when you guys are coming out. Yep. All right.
John.
Okay.
See right here, I paused it so I could see where they're physically at when they're doing this talking. But look at this cop is determined. His name's Alan Schleff. He's determined to keep his body camera covered up.
Hold on,
and I'm like, this is bullshit. But I was able to like pause it.
You guys see where he's at?
And show people this.
Right there's Isaac Funderburg's apartment. And you keep going, like, Drake's is right, like.
Yeah, the old dentist office.
The old dentist office.
Yeah, we just.
And then he shut off his body.
Just felt the need.
And now he turns it back on.
They're gonna walk in the back here. It's between, like, that's the far north right there. But if you keep walking, to the right, and you go right here. This is the back of the far north. And you're gonna walk.
This is where the coffee shop is behind it.
What time is it? What time is this thing? See how he's got an officer there with him? 57. Okay. See right down there? They got those.
Woohoo!
Well, I know those people called. She called. Yeah.
See, I know those people called, and those people called over there. Dude, really? Alan Schleff, Alan Schleff's still alive. Alan would love to talk to you about this. What do you mean those people over there called? And this person over here called? Come on, let's talk about that. Who are you talking about? Because that's an extra 911 call, for the record. That's never been mentioned.
That's where they think they heard the shot from. And that's what she initially told me.
And so you're not going to go over there, fucking Alan Schleff?
God, I miss these videos.
See, sheriff? Is that sheriff? It's a sheriff. Sheriff.
There we came all the way back around through.
Brandon and I walked through there. Brandon Johnson, right at motherfucking down.
Brandon Johnson, no longer a cop. Okay. Rumor has it that he covered up some rape, deleted body cam footage, messed with shit. Brandon Johnson, no longer. Mike Venezuela, no longer. Travis Stoley is the sheriff now.
Right now.
Now.
Here, so
she's getting that as the address where the RP is, or that guy. That doesn't make any sense.
she told me that she was sitting out here. She heard the shot from another standing in this whole building. It was over the county's office. When the shots went off, she hollered at him, and he goes, "Was that you?" And she took off running like my old house.
So there's another house right here that's newly. They just moved into it. It was where
The one on this side?
just on the other side of the fence on the right. So let's go check. It's off El Paso.
Yeah, make sure there's no casing. There's
So
something
there's a
right
car
back
there I didn't recognize.
Okay.
You guys see how there's no call that came in yet? Like nobody's telling each other to the other person, hey, we got a phone call that came in that's giving us this address and to go to Suite B. Okay, so they're doing all of this. Okay. That's how I was able to show that these cops, they responded not because of Jennifer Drake's obviously 911 call. They responded because of Isaac Funderburg's call.
Now watch this.
Now, according to these body cams, if these were accurate and it was only 6:53, Jennifer Drake's 911 call doesn't come in until 7:27. So that's where like I'm over here. So this picture right here, you can see like the door to the left there is lit up. The sheriff's car is like parked right in front of like that back door to go into Brian Drake's. And then watch this.
Okay, he's parked right in front of the glass doors. The sheriff parks right in front of the glass doors.
What do you got?
Right there. And he shuts off his body cam.
Now watch this.
And I was able to pause it perfectly. And I was able to catch the fact that there was a vehicle, a police vehicle that's right up against where the window where Brian Drake was shot through, and it's like they're right there, and then all of a sudden,
okay, so
they act like they just seen this gunshot through the window.
First. I'm sorry.
I tried to ask the police, the sheriff's department, the prosecutor. I said, "Are the body cameras right? Are those timestamps accurate? Or are they wrong?" That's all we need to know. Why can't they answer that, right? Now, remember though, Jennifer Drake just told the police that she got a phone call at 7:44. Okay? And she's saying that the medics are with Brian. That's what she's like, this is what they're telling me. This is all fucking lies. All lies. Jennifer Drake is lying.
This is.
But she was called. She did get a phone call. And I believe that she got a phone call because somebody needed to know what Brian's phone number was because of where Brian's cell phone was. They had to put it back.
Watch this. Wait, you see how many dudes are there?
Okay. So now they're into his apartment
this.
or his look at
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who's the guy with the cap right there? 1, 2, 3,
4
4.
body worn camera guy.
5 is the guy that's wearing the body cam. Get a screenshot of that.
It just destroyed
See
them.
that? 1, 2, 3,
I
4,
shattered their
5.
dreams. I shattered their cover up.
Right there.
Pull the door, I'll pull my foot up.
He kicks in the door.
He kicks in this door.
So next. 4, 5. Now they're going to clear this, all the other places.
Like this little. Look at.
Hold right there. He's not hit. Just sit down. I'll hold there. Mike.
Mike is Mike
Yeah,
Benswell.
hold on that door. Yep, it's springy. We got a lot to clear over here yet. He's gonna hold. Is that door locked? Okay. All right. You're gonna go in. I'll take left. Yep, right on. You with us? Peel off with him. I'll hold the bigger area. You guys go to the right, and we'll work our way around that way.
They got 4 people with them. The 4th.
Copy?
This is the smallest office building I've ever seen in my life.
I got you right. Go ahead. Get in there. Okay, go in there, Travis.
Wait, listen to this. He says, "Go in there, Travis."
I got you right. Go ahead. Get in there. Okay, go in there, Travis.
Travis is now the sheriff. He has no idea what he's doing. None.
Coming out? Okay. All right. This is a fucking nightmare, but we'll keep working this way. You guys go that way. I'll cover your back. Yeah. Copy. Go right.
And
You guys have cleared all this?
this is
We
Hartman's.
looked under everything. Any possible cabinets that a body could hide in?
Did you guys check the cabinets? Any possible area that a body could hide in? Like, this is like he's using it as like dude. There is a guy that is down on the ground. Okay, been shot supposedly. Okay, and he's asking him to check cabinets if a body could hide in one of those cabinets.
Good.
You just hear that? The door is open to the outside. That is so important.
It was
It's
unlocked
unlocked.
in the front of the building, and it's never usually like that.
Good.
Listen. Boom. Not door.
Got it. That's okay.
Unbelievable. I have no idea what he's doing.
Got a little half wall there if you want to grab that. Okay. Go ahead.
Like somebody could like legit be hiding underneath any of this area,
You good there?
and he's like teaching him how to clear.
That vestibule's clear?
Vestibula.
Take under the counter. I got you left.
Yeah, you want to leave it the way it was found, so that's why that train light's on.
I got you left. Clear. Clear coming out. Downstairs. Dustin, stand on this door here.
Wait, what is his name?
Dustin, stand on this door here.
Dustin?
Okay, all right. Let's do the open door first. There's two open doors. Which one? I'll go straight across the front one's okay. I'll go straight across the right. Ready? Bathroom. Another door. Pocket. Be clear from that. No. Back over here. All right. There you go. There you go. Okay.
Looks like a fucking training exercise right here.
All right, Travis, hang on.
Travis, just go ahead and open up doors. Touch everything, buddy. Does he have gloves on? I mean, look at this.
He doesn't have gloves on.
Go. Go ahead.
Wait. Yep. Look at
So,
We're all good? Okay. All right. Yeah, Max? Yeah, I got it. In front of me. Johnson, go with him. Johnson, go with him. Make sure we're covering his right. Get in there. I'll cover the right door. Go ahead. Stay with him. Stay with him. We're on this side. Go ahead.
it's unbelievable.
Can you look under this desk? Okay.
Did you look under this desk?
All clear?
Not like
Coming out, coming
Bonners
out.
Ferry Police Department. Bonners Ferry Police Department. Nothing.
We have an
Okay, so
upstairs or any access anywhere? I thought
again, there's the glass door. Okay. So listen to what they're talking about.
all clear? Coming out, coming out. We have an upstairs or any access anywhere? I thought we did. You got gunshot or does it look like it's? All right, let's, I'll have them send, we're clear, we're looking good. I'll have them bring medics up.
See the medics, see right here? The medics aren't even in there yet. You understand that? 1800. Boom. Okay. Right across there. Isaac Funderburg. See? That's his portrait.
So this is where Ellen.
8 to 5. Right here, right here. Watch this.
That door's just
Boom.
unlocked.
Okay. Right across there.
They make no mention
Isaac
in any
Funderburg.
of their police reports that
See?
the front
That's his
door was
portrait there.
unlocked. The front door's never unlocked. Okay. And later on, it'll prove to be very important in the investigation because they say that a truck comes up here and does some weird backup, park up crap. And that would be right. Somebody that could potentially be coming out this blue door could be coming out this blue door and hopping in, a truck, but they make no mention in any police report the fact that this front door was unlocked. It's never unlocked. And that would be something that you would be noting. So this is, so just like in the Idaho4 case, this is in Bonners Ferry in Idaho. The same people end up investigating this. Just like in the Idaho4 case, they trampled the scene. They were touching things.
Now, I want you guys to look. Okay. You see that? See that right there? Okay, so that's like over that way to the left. That's the Liberty gas station where they're like staged.
1500.
Is that a goddamn?
Look at right there. I got the ambulance. I was able to timestamp all of this stuff, And then I provided to Jennifer Drake. To say they lied to you. Okay, they're lying to you. You know, I don't know who killed anybody, right? When I'm trying to provide this information, I'm just simply giving her stuff that she supposedly never has never had. Okay, come to find out, she had all of this stuff because guess what? The detectives in the case provided Jennifer Drake with all of the criminal case discovery for her civil suit against Dr. Moore. What? There is a active open criminal investigation and you guys that's why all of this should go to everybody. You gave Jennifer Drake the discovery. So how are you denying any of our public requests? You gave a civilian the discovery. Go get yourself the discovery, Idaho. Go get yourself all this stuff. So here this whole time, I thought that Jennifer Drake didn't have this stuff. And I'm trying to I'm like, oh my God, this woman needs to sue the police. They're telling her that the medics were there working on him at 7:44 because she has a timestamp phone call from them. And I'm like, this is horrible. This is a blatant lie, you know? And so I give them all of this gets turned over. It just can prove it all. And so
what is that, a shopping cart? Right here.
I pointed that out for a reason. I said, is that a shopping cart? It's like, no, guess what that is, you guys. Ready? That's the coffee place that's next door, far north. That's the sign that they put out every morning and then they bring in every night. And so I provide this as proof that there was every night they brought this sign in. Because I was showing that we have a big problem here with the time that this is all supposedly happening. Okay. That sign's still out there. That place closes at 6, right? And so right here, if you go based off of the body cam, it's now at 7:01, but if the body cam is off, okay, it's really 8:01. But anyway, you slice and dice it. I was like, hey, why isn't that sign brought in? Because people were trying to say that this all happened after the people in the coffee shop were closed up. I said, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. We need the timeline. What timeline? I have every timeline of this case. You know I got timelines. I'm just walking myself down memory lane of 2020. These are all the things I'm grateful for.
Now I fucking.
What's that? That's Mike.
Okay, that's Mike's.
That's Mike's SUV. Watch this though.
Rig is this? He says,
whose rig is this? I want to go to the part where they're all talking. Okay, here we go.
We got it.
That's Mike.
You want to say, let's just take this whole. Yeah, you want to pull your squad out of there? Travis, you want to get yours out?
You hear how he said, Travis, you want to get yours out? So we got 2 vehicles, Mike and Travis. Do you guys want to get pull them out of where they're at?
Kayla said she's seen a small old black sedan. Was it SUV?
10 minutes. It's made like 5 weeks ago.
So are you he's deceased, very deceased. So before you go,
He said he's deceased. He's very deceased.
Make sure that that's what he wants. We didn't find anything. Visible to the back of the line. I didn't hear all that. He just wanted to go check the body, make sure he's deceased. Yeah, we can wait.
You guys hear this shit? Maybe we should try to check the body to see if he's deceased.
That's what they're
The
saying.
fuck
That's what they're saying.
of the body cam.
And I'm just thinking to myself, like, what?
Right there. See this guy right here? Right there.
Copy that. So Michaela said she's seen older class.
Mike Venezuela knows a lot, and he's no longer with the department. Something happened. Mike, I know you're out there. Let's talk. Let's whistleblow.
So are you
Holy shit, man. Go to the next one.
So before you go, just make sure that that's what he wants. We didn't find anything. I didn't hear all that. He just wanted to go check the body, just make sure he's deceased. Yeah, we can wait. As long as you're compatible with life, do me a favor, if you want to move your squad over on the other side, let's get Mike's side. Here. Did we look at the wall on the inside? Copy that.
Oh, here we go. Now, okay, now this is the interview that Marty Ryan does with Isaac Funderburg, and the person all the way to his left, you see like with the beard, and a hoodie. Okay, that's Dave McClellan, and he is literally wearing the same outfit he will have on the next day tomorrow. And I caught that, and I was like, man, this guy was just. And then when I saw his phone records up and until leading to the shooting, whoo, Davy baby. The cell towers show a very, very interesting hour before Dr. Drake's shot of what you and Caleb Watts were doing, and I have it all.
3:47, roughly.
You guys all together as a family at that point?
Okay, so
You're a step ahead of me, so
He just asked if you had anything to drink tonight, and he says no. And then Marty Ryan says, you're a step
ahead of me.
ahead of me.
Basically, he's implying during this interview, Marty Ryan he's implying that he's been drinking. Okay, like, how is nobody covering this? This is crazy. Marty Ryan, the assistant police chief, is admitting on a body cam that somebody else is wearing. He's not wearing one, so he's saying this, not realizing that the guy behind him has a body cam on. Okay, and he's admitting that, oh, you're one step ahead of me. You haven't had anything to drink? No, you're one step ahead of me. It's crazy. He's admitting that he's been
You're
drinking.
like better, like you're.
Yeah. Yes.
And if you drink tonight?
No.
You're a step ahead of me, so you're doing good. All right.
Like Marty Ryan's admitting he's been drinking, just so we're clear.
Oh God. Okay. Let's see what else I have here. That was Isaac Funderburg. I got some good stuff. Who's this? Oh, yeah. Where's Nancy? Hold on. Okay, so this person comes forward.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know he was active like that.
You didn't know he was active like that? You're talking about like affairs?
Yeah.
Or, okay. Where did you hear that?
Where? Well, from you guys for one.
The other detective said he was having some affairs?
Well, this was pretty obvious.
Oh.
Maybe I just connected the dots.
Oh.
But people in the community, I've heard it in passing after he got shot by a couple of people, and it surprised me.
Did you know have you heard of anyone specifically that he had an affair with or any kind of sexual relations with? You just heard the rumor that he did. And what do you mean it didn't surprise you about?
Well, he's super good looking and a flirt.
Okay. You said you guys were good friends. Did you like talk often or just good friends kept on him coming to the deli all the time?
Yeah, coming in the deli all the time, and we would text each other once in a while. Flirting.
Okay.
Talking.
Was that very often that you would text? No.
No.
Okay. Do you know anyone that would want to hurt Dr. Gray? No? Nothing you
Wish I did.
Yeah. So no rumblings about anything in the community or anything like that. What about, how would you, I mean, you kind of already adapted to this, but how would you describe his character just as a whole?
He was very charismatic, very friendly, playful, obviously, flirty.
Jennifer Drake reaches out to this woman and sends her like a letter. Okay. And I was like, how would she know this woman even existed? Oh, because she was given the discovery.
Just all around nice guy.
Did you, just based on what you know of him, did you ever, or your interactions with him, did you ever suspect any kind of drinking issues or drinking and alcohol issues or drug issues or
Not
infidelity?
not
Based on what you knew.
okay, not drugs, not infidelity. Although that is pretty obvious when, he's flirting back and forth. And then the last text I got, I'm sure you read that off the last report, which was, he texted me back in the last time I heard from him, which is probably end of summer, something like that.
Here it
I
comes.
delete all my texts. I always have. He said that his balls were aching and he wanted a hand job. But I helped him out.
Is that normal?
His balls were aching and he wanted a hand job. That's what he writes this woman. But before she says this, she's like, well, I already gave it to you in the report. Like, she had been interviewed before. Okay. And I'm over here looking through everything. I'm like, where is this previous interview? Where is this previous interview? Nowhere to be found. They were burying all of this infidelity shit. Okay. Again, I was listening to all of these, doing my own investigation to literally help an innocent person, as well as to help a widow get, justice. Well, if you want the truth, don't call Lana. I couldn't believe what I uncovered here. I was like, wait, what is this interview? Listen to this. Listen to these words.
Because I delete all my texts. I always have. He said that his balls were aching and he wanted a hand job. But I helped him out.
Was that normal? Normal conversation for you
No.
guys?
No,
Has he ever said anything like that to you in the deli?
no, not face to face.
Did you respond?
I did. I said, do you really think it would end there? And then that was basically the end of the conversation. He signed off.
He didn't respond back.
I don't
You don't remember?
but he didn't, that was it.
And this was on text message? Just normal text message or an messaging app or anything like that?
I have no idea about that. I just do a normal
Like on an iPhone text or something?
Yeah, he had an iPhone, I'm sure.
Okay. Did you go through with it? No.
So,
You know,
did you see him or talk to him after that at all?
no, I didn't, but the girls saw him in the deli. I mean, the girls that work in the deli saw him. It was very infrequent after that. After that last text, he didn't come in very often. Not as often as he used to. And, but the one gal that knows him, there's a lot of new girls in the deli now. She saw him a few times after that, but very infrequent.
What did you say that was?
I don't know. I wish I wouldn't have. I'm thinking maybe the end of the summer, something like that.
Describe the interactions you had with him at the deli. Like, what would he buy? How much would he buy? What kind of were the conversations about?
He was flirty, just not you want to go out or anything like that, but just flirty, back and forth, bantering and stuff. The first time he came in, he ordered a bunch of stuff. I knew there was enough stuff there for like 4 people to eat, and I called him on it because I knew he was up to. And because I had to turn around to get the styrofoam containers to put his food in. So I'm sure he was trying to check me out. I'm old enough now, I can figure that one out. But and he turned me red and smiled and said, well, he would eat the rest of it the next day. But he knew that I knew what he was up to.
What do you mean what he was up to? Explain that.
Well, when somebody is flirting back and forth, so to speak, you're getting along good in your conversation, and he's good looking. We were talking about his zodiac signs, talked to him about his wife's sign, and which is a very head-butting relationship. Just that the bantering, the normal bantering that 2 people do, male and female. Flirty kind of stuff.
So you knew that he was gonna go back and get another woman, or
No. I always, when he came in, he would get his food, and somewhere in the conversation when we first met, he said he stayed. He explained what he did. He got done for the day, came in, got something to eat, went back to the hotel and stayed there. And then the next morning, he would go to Troy and Libby and then come back. And that was Monday.
Troy and Libby, Montana.
And then, I don't know, I think maybe Tuesday he might have done some more in Bonnersbury. I'm not sure about that, but then I know that he came back Thursdays and did the same thing.
same thing as in
Same
going
routine. Yeah.
to Montana the next day? Did he? And he said specifically he was staying at the Coogee River Inn.
Mm-hmm.
Did he say if he was gambling or meeting up with anybody, or just he stayed there?
Yeah, he just said that he stayed at the Coogee River Inn, but he never mentioned, I assumed he gambled. I worked there for a year in the casino, and just, he never mentioned it, but I'm sure he did. And to answer your previous question, he always got wine after he got his food in the deli.
You saw him actually getting wine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the wine is straight.
That's a female's drink. Brian drinks vodka. This interview is just wowsville. Okay.
Down the aisle of the store by the registers, and you can see people in there in the wine section.
And he typically got a lot of food, or he typically got
just that first time.
Oh, then he got kind of a normal portion size.
Yes.
That's what I was kind of, when you said you called him on it, what do you mean by that?
Well, he was checking me out every time I turned around.
Oh, that's what you meant by
yes.
Once you turn around and you can help.
Yeah.
That's where I was confused because, like she said, was he back for
He was buying enough for an army, but no, it was just that first meeting, and then I called him on, and he got really red, so he knew that I knew what he was up to.
Did you notice if he wore his wedding ring?
Sometimes he didn't, sometimes he didn't.
And you noticed that?
I noticed that right off the bat.
Specifically that he would sometimes?
Yeah. First time he came in, he did, and then.
Would you guys talk about his wife or kids, or what did you do?
Well, I asked him what his sign was. I asked him everything. You know, that's kind of a, you know, when you meet somebody that's married and they're kind of, you know, acting like they're maybe hitting on you. That's, I always go into the wife and kid thing to redirect.
Okay. Are you familiar with that area around his office at all? To where you would recognize if any suspicious people or vehicles happen to be in that area the weeks prior to the shooting?
No, when I drove by, I always, well, he used to, I think there at the end he drove a white SUV, something like that. But he used to drive a kind of a navy blue, I can't remember what it was, if it was might have been a Chevy pickup, and it had a, what do you call those things, visor on it, over the windshield. And if I drove by during the day in my travels and stuff, I always glanced over there, you know, he was there. We'll note that. But towards the end,
Did you, kind of back to the Super One thing, is there a point where you kind of stopped going to Montana when you may have mentioned it? No, so you just
he never mentioned, I never asked him, it was only, you know, like in the moment when he was there, we wouldn't talk about anything else, just, you know, like, you know, I'd say, how was your day? It was fine, period. You know, long days, because he put in long days. And, but, you know, it was the first time that he told me his routine, and so I just said, okay, whatever. You know, next day he's going in, so or over to Montana, but it was always just in the present.
Okay. You probably don't remember what your last conversations were.
Don't you think it's interesting that she wants nothing to do, this interviewer wants nothing to do about talking about the fact that Brian sent you a text message that says, my balls are aching and give me a hand job? Like, that's like, hello, what? Like, that's pretty out there, right? In fact, I want to know the date, because I want to know if Brian was the one that actually sent that, or if it was Jennifer. If Jennifer texted that just to see what the person would respond. Jennifer is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
And at the deli, besides the text message conversation, he was good looking, but nothing.
No, you know, I always got that. We both got it, because I think he probably needed it just as well for whatever reasons he had, but the full body hug.
What? Describe the full body hug. I'm not sure.
Well, normally.
What exactly?
Normally, I know the other girls are always jealous. Normally, when you hug somebody, I don't want to embarrass you, but if you have big boobs, you kind of tuck those in and lean forward a little bit, because you don't want the contact there, because that's what men like. And I've had a lot of men try to do that. But his and ours were just full body contact. I mean, as much as you could without falling down, you know.
So like the it's like the whole body was like the groin was included and everything else.
The groin.
Or it was just kind of a lean in and like
No, it wasn't a lean in. It was, he put his arms around my waist. I put my arms around his shoulders, because his shoulders were probably about to here. So it would have been too awkward just for the sake of a hug. No, you know, platonic. It was easier for me to go over the top. So everything was.
Who initiated the hug? You or him?
We both did.
Is that normal to hug a customer, or
I hugged a lot of customers? customers. A lot of them were older folks because I took care of older folks, and I'm a very touchy-feely person anyways, and I'm very personable, and I just like hugging people. So I hugged lots of people, young, old. I had, you develop a customer base. I had little girls that would come in, and I still to this day, even though I don't see them in the deli, if I see them in the store, I have a little girl. She's probably 11 now. She comes up and I grab her and I lift her off the ground. So, but I just knew that he was under a lot of stress. In our last conversation with Chris, I told him that I was a little bit psychic. I could tell you scores of stories about interactions from the other side. Well, the one when I got your text tonight, but and I have the gift of discernment, so I can look at somebody, like if they're walking away from me or walking up to me, that was me. I can tell what's wrong with them, if they're happy, sad, confused, whatever is going on in their head. I can read that. And when I saw him walking up to the deli, and I know Scorpios really well which he was a Scorpio because I dated one for 5 years. I could read him. And most of the reading that I got was that he was extremely tired, weary, and lonely. Did you, had he had his back surgery yet when he was still in the deli? I think it was around the time that you left the deli. I think he said he did. I didn't even remember that until you said that. I think he said he did, but I do remember him saying his back was bad. And he walked like it was. Wow. I think, what time did he have it? That would help me on a date.
I don't remember the day. I think it was the end of last year sometime.
Oh,
that it happened, or maybe not the end. Maybe I think it was after summer, but before fall.
See, that would have been around the last time I saw him. I wish I would have deleted all of his stuff. But
don't worry, I got him.
His number in my phone, but I delete. At the end of the day, I delete all my conversations. I don't know why it's a bad habit, but I got nothing to hide. But I don't like the clutter in my phone. And I don't understand how, when people want to show you something in their phone, and I don't know how they keep all those conversations straight, because, you have like 20, 30 friends. I don't know how they do it. I'm not on Facebook or anything.
Did you guys call, or did you two call each other, or was it always just via text?
Once in a while we would call each other.
And just chat, or?
Well, let me see if that's right or not. Maybe it was just texting. Yeah. 3 or 4 times, maybe. I just didn't feel comfortable with that. I mean, texting, same thing, I suppose, but texting's a little bit, isn't as personal as a phone call.
Yeah. So just to kind of do the standard question we ask everybody, where were you at on the evening of March 12th? Between like 7 and 8?
In bed, I know that for sure.
In bed?
Yeah.
Do you live with anyone?
No. My normal routine is I get up at 3 a.m. I'm retired, but I get up, but I'm a workaholic, so I work.
I'm a workaholic. Okay, guys. Now, if you guys thought that was wild, here is a look back in history on a day that was unlike any other. Introducing Jennifer's sister. Let's see. Wait a second. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Jennifer's sister gets interviewed, and it is wow.
college? Was he in playing ball? What was he doing?
During that time, he had graduated. He had not started chiropractic. So I don't even think he was working. He was there. His family lived there.
In Florida?
No, we were in Montana.
In Montana.
Yes.
Okay.
And so he was living with his family, and they had met at church. I was with them in the morning. They met at church, and I cannot recall what he was even working. So then when they moved to Texas is when he started his first practice.
Okay. So these 2 years in Montana, when you were living with Jennifer, they're dating. Are they dating regularly? Are they dating?
Oh yeah, they're dating. They're like dating. They're going to get married dating. Okay. From the first date they met, they never had a time that they weren't dating.
Okay. You ever seen him drink during this period?
Oh
yeah. When you say, oh yes, what does that mean? Is it heavy drinking, light drinking?
Saw him a number of times, very highly intoxicated.
Sorry.
And knew, and will tell you probably, that
hold on.
and I were drinking buddies. I would arrive here at the house and be highly.
Okay, so this is Gary Tollison and Mike Van Leuven interviewing Jennifer Drake's sister. Okay.
And the time that they weren't dating.
Okay. You ever seen him drink during this period?
Oh.
Oh yeah.
When you say, oh yes, what does that mean? Is it heavy drinking, light drinking, social drinking, party drinking?
I have to be honest with you, I don't remember a time that Brian was not a drinker from the day I met him. Okay. And the family I was born and raised in is a very strict family. We did not drink. My parents did not drink. There was never alcohol in the family. And so I was a little bit wild in high school. So Brian immediately became my drinking partner. Okay. To the day that he passed away. Okay.
Brian was her drinking partner to the day that he passed away. Like that's who I drank with. And we hid it from the family at family functions. We would put it in like water bottles. We'd put vodka in water bottles, supposedly, allegedly, from the sister right here.
I go the rest of my life and never have another drink, and we don't have alcohol in my home presently. Like right now, my husband doesn't drink. I've never seen him drink. We've been married 20 years, but his father was an alcoholic, so he is very he doesn't want anything to do with that lifestyle. Yet he was very close to Brian and saw him a number of times, very highly intoxicated, and knew, and will tell you probably, that Brian and I were drinking buddies. I would arrive here at the house, and the first thing Brian would say to me is, I have your private stash, and he would keep that from my sister to an extent. My sister knew that we drank together, but not.
I don't believe any of this.
Brian would do it.
I changed my mind. I believe all of it.
And when Brian came to my house, I mean, often, when they came to Kalispell, they stay at our house out of the families, just because we are closest amongst the families, and he would always bring his stash with him. Brian was a very, very heavy drinker. My sister and I are very, very close, but my sister is very, very naive.
See, that's what she thinks.
Sure, as many years of you been doing this.
No, I don't believe that. Like, well, she can think that she's naive. She's just working the family. This woman spills the tea on her sister. So much so that when Jennifer Drake does a deposition, oh my God, Jennifer Drake is like, my sister doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. My sister is a quack, more or less. And that I don't talk to my sister about anything anymore because she doesn't, like, I'm like, wait, whoa.
You have already figured that out. So I don't need to tell you that.
Okay.
That's part of
What is she naive to?
There we go.
Brian loved Jennifer very much, so he knew how troubling it was to her to drink as much as he did, and so he was very good at covering things up. And he had told her months ago he stopped drinking. I am 100% aware that he had not stopped drinking.
That's not true. They were drinking on the plane going to Florida, New York.
She did not know that he had brought alcohol to the house, or that he had provided that alcohol for me, or she had cleaned out all the cabinets the last time we were here for Thanksgiving, and typically where the alcohol was, it was not. And Jen looked at me and said, no, he's not drinking anymore. He's been clean for, da. And I went, okay, I love you.
What did he drink?
A little bit of everything. I mean, he'd have wine with Jennifer when they were drinking together, a lot of social drinking. They have a lot of highfalutin friends that are just, pretend that these wine snobs. And
They have a lot of high fluent friends. They think that they're wine snobs. Like who? Oh, you mean they're swinger friends? Oh, okay. That's right. Ah, this is crazy. I think one of them's a mail order bride.
You know, so they do a lot of that. Now, behind the scenes, I mean, liquor would be his choice. Vodka, Sambuca, whiskey, bourbon.
What's your choice?
He
I'm
would
like-
always make sure I
that's
had
Tulsa.
vodka, and he did a lot of vodka. He would start his mornings with alcohol.
What's
And
yours?
she-
See right there?
I hate saying this, but
He'd start his mornings.
he had a lot of pain, and
He would start his mornings with alcohol.
he would tell Matt and I the reason why he drank is to just take a little edge off of that pain.
Oh,
But you don't think that's what
I don't. I know
just to deal with her.
I know that.
he drank because he liked her.
Oh yeah, and he's
He
never
drank because he's an alcoholic, Leuven. Tolson.
not drink. I mean, his father. It's through the whole bloodline of their family. I know you questioned Chad Drake the other day, and I dated Chad for a while during the time that I was, I was in high school.
She
And
did.
I was probably living with Jen. Yeah.
Chad?
Wait, she dated Chad? Oh my God. I forgot that she ever said that. Chad. No way. Interesting. That is something that Lana needs to note because Chad had a very successful business.
And Chad's been a drinker since day one. Brian's been a drinker because his dad was a drinker. It goes through the whole family.
She fucked Chad.
How was he when he was drinking?
Oh, he could drink 10 to 20 times my amount of alcohol and you wouldn't know.
He's a big man.
Oh, yeah. He could consume some alcohol like no one's business, which, it makes me angry and then it makes me, I wanted to shake my sister sometimes because even till a month ago, it was like, when she'd feed me these stupid lines on the phone when I called to say, because he had these injuries recently, and me not being present to see my sister's face, and my sister's a strong woman. She's been through a ton with Brian. And she's had to just overcome some really tough stuff. And so we are taught, born and bred in our family of 6, that you just put your big girl panties on and you just get through. And so that is the mindset of Jennifer. So when I ask her, how are you doing? Like after these 2 big injuries, without seeing her face, she'd say, we're good. Brian stopped drinking and he's doing really good. And I wanted to shake her because I don't really know as much as I know her. Like, are you just putting on your big girl panties and feeding me a line like we've done our entire life? Or are you really this naive? Like, are you really this stupid? And we're close. And so it makes me mad that I can't.
Do you think it would devastate her if you actually said, hey, look, you just don't know what you're doing. You don't understand Brian. Is that why you
We
don't
have
tell
a
her?
couple, we've had those conversations over the years of just like, Jen, you're not really fooling. I mean, we've had a couple moments of that to where she says, Emily, I'm not stupid, but I know my husband and I know, and this just kind of, I know he's struggling, but yes, he is. He has promised me that he has stopped drinking, and I am here, and I know, and I see, and I pay the bills, and that's such a joke because, and Matt will tell you that, but I mean, it's all on this cash basis. So Jen didn't even know financially wise that there were things that Brian just never told Jen to protect her because he loved her. Well, just like money things like that. Like my husband went to Vegas with him and Brian drank very, very heavily during this trip. I think it would be safe to say that Matt said he's never seen him drink this bad, to where Matt's not a big man like Brian, but he said to me, it worried me, Emily, because I couldn't take care of him. And when he got so drunk, there were girls, there were this and that. And he said at some point, I'm not big enough to say, you are coming with me. But he said, I couldn't physically like pick this man up and say, you're not going home with this woman, right? But he at one point during the trip said, now you have to remember, my husband doesn't drink. I believe I'm not the naive woman like my sister is, and maybe I've learned from that. But I've never seen my husband in all the social settings I've ever, and he takes a very big stand and has gotten a ton of slack over back up there. But he said at one point during the trip he had spent so much money on just alcoholism.
This is Brian.
Yeah, Brian had spent so much money that Matt questioned and said, I know Jen does the finances. How do you go home and she doesn't just chew your butt? And Brian's like, and Matt said he pulled out this stack of cash and just said, I work on a cash basis. Jen doesn't know half of the money that I have.
This trip to Las Vegas, who went on this trip?
Just Brian and Matt.
For what purpose? When did that happen?
You're going to have to ask him.
Like,
it's been a few years. It's not been recent.
Not recent, okay.
No. But you know, we, in just even processing through this,
he was drinking bottom shelf vodka.
This, but
okay.
I have lost Jennifer because the four of us did a lot of trips and things like this together.
All right, let's talk about sex. Is she naive about sex?
I mean, she knows what happened when they were in Texas and the affair he had on her.
Affair?
Oh my gosh. So right here, you understand Van Leuven and Tolson are just like, wait, Texas affair? What? Jen knows about this? Wait, what? You have to understand they've already interviewed Jen. Jen said that they had a great marriage, perfect marriage. Church, Holy Bible, Ghost, amen. Okay. Holy shit. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, says Tolson. Let's just talk about sex, Tolson. Wow. So here it is. To this day, Jennifer claims that Brian didn't have an affair on her. Well, that's why they got ran out of Austin, Texas. Okay. Here, just listen.
She's not naive in that.
He had an
I think
affair.
Brian kept pretty close lips about after all that went down, especially because it took years for my parents to trust him. And so Brian's not an idiot. Did you ever meet Brian? No. Brian.
What?
She asks the officers, have you ever met Brian? And he's like, no. Like Tolson says no. Van Leuven doesn't say anything. But why does she think that they would have ever even met? Is it because he's CI? Is it because he was like, he had friends that were cops? I mean, have you ever met Brian? Like, what? I couldn't believe that question when I heard that. And Tolson's like, no, he's dead.
Brian is very charismatic and Rico Suave, and everyone loves Brian because Brian knows exactly what you need to see and what I need to see. And I say that with love because I loved and adored him. But Brian made me feel like I was the only person in the room. And when I say that I was Brian's favorite, I do believe I was, but I believe that 10 other people would sit in here and say the same thing because Brian knew what to say to his wife, what to say to my mother to make her believe that he was doing right again and all that. So I think there came to a point when it was so public in Texas and why they actually moved out here. Brian learned very quick that that was not something that he knew. He just knew. He knew what to say to who and what not to say to who.
So he's a good-looking, athletic guy. Okay, you said you fell in love with him. You had a crush right there when you opened the door. He's that kind of guy. I have no idea what that's like, but let's talk about it. Do you think he was having sex on the side more than once, more than twice, a half a dozen times? Do you think he was doing that up here? Do you think he was doing that in Texas? What do you think?
I believe that it was not a singular time.
Okay.
Boom.
I don't have any evidence to give you that. He's never voiced anything to me, and he never would because he knew how close Jennifer and I was. he would tell me things like his drinking or the money or whatever, but he would never tell me something like that ever. And I do not believe he's ever told my husband that. But I wouldn't, if he were to sit here and tell me we have proof of 10 women, it wouldn't shock me at all. In fact, the people who know and love him, silently behind the scenes, I can't tell you how many people immediately asked me if this was because of a woman.
Boom.
So let's go into the Texas then. What?
So where are what is wrong with these investigators? These investigators are getting like this woman who's the sister of Jennifer Drake is saying, listen, everybody's asking us and saying, is this about a woman? Like what, like that he was basically sticking it and that's why he's dead. Everybody is saying this. And so what are these investigators doing? This is what they're being told. So this is what, like, when you talk about the Idaho4 case, what was the Idaho4 detectives? This is them. Mike Van Leuven, Gary Tolson. What do you guys, you're interviewing these people. What are they telling you? And you're just ignoring it. Why? Why?
What do you know about? We've had people tell us different things, but what do you know about what happened in Texas? When he was a chiropractor there, is that what we're talking about that? Okay.
I believe it. To be honest with you, Jennifer was very close-lipped about it because she was very embarrassed by it. And that was...
Exactly. Jen was embarrassed by it. Jen only cared about her image. Everything was about image. Okay? She didn't care if Brian and them did whatever. Okay? She just didn't want stuff to get out. But once stuff gets out, then that's like, dude, you're killing our image. Like, Brian, like, come on. Like, we're supposed to be pillars of the pillars of the church. People like, oh my God, we have such a beautiful family and we're just so amazing and blah, blah. I think that's why Jennifer brought in the swinging lifestyle, or like this, let's start having, fine, I'll start engaging with you with banging it out with other people. Okay? That's what I think. And I think that that would cause some resentment because that's not what God wants you to do. And so you went against God to please your husband type of stuff if you're going to talk about the God part of it.
Quite a few years ago. So I was on the East Coast when it happened, and I actually didn't know about it until maybe a year later.
Have they moved up here yet when you found out about it?
They have moved up here. So while they were in Texas, I knew there was some major problems because my mom had gone down there and all that, but it was very close-lipped because I was on the other side of the United States, and it wasn't like we were sitting on the phone talking about it. I know that she had left him at one point, temporarily, and I knew that was going on. I also know Brian was super, super, super abusive from in the very beginning. Like,
super, super, super abusive.
And to Jennifer.
Oh my God. Then she spills the tea that that Brian was super abusive to Jennifer and the kids. The cops are listening to this. And you think that Dr. Drake was killed over fucking patients? You sick son of a bitches. This is insanity.
Super abusive. Had one of the worst tempers. I grew up with a dad that was like, I've never heard him yell at me. So, but very strict. I mean, he did a tight ship with 6 kids. But we would go to Texas during those years of him drinking a ton. And his dad has a major temper. Oh my gosh, a major temper. So it runs in the family again. But I mean, he was abusive to my sister, physically abusive, and he was very abusive. I witnessed it with my own eyes, the way he was abusive to his children at a young age.
Tell me about that. What are you talking about exactly?
So are we talking about yelling? Did he pick him up and shake him? Was he ignoring
physically.
him?
Like, I mean, he pulled alongside the highway one day, and I mean, it's just carved in my mind of how he grabbed a kid and took him out, and I mean, just physically was so angry at him and snapped the kid. And he was little, but just, he was such a big man. And just hit him right across the feet and held him up, and Jennifer screaming at him. And I mean,
who was this?
This was Brenner.
Brenner?
Yeah. He scared me.
Don't you think you would interview the kids?
He was little, maybe 6. 5 or 6. It was a long time ago. There was a time when my sister and I were in Texas. My sister next up from me, Rachel, and we were visiting. And we heard them fighting downstairs, and we were both crying upstairs because we heard them just fuck, everything just
fuck,
screaming. And my sister and I were crying because we could hear it from downstairs, and we knew that there had been things, but it was the first time I actually saw it with my eyes because I went downstairs and I just said to Rachel, I can't let him treat our sister this way. So I went down the stairs and he had her up against the wall with his hand around her throat.
Was he threatening her as well as
No.
physically grabbing her?
No. I mean, I never heard him threaten her like, he would threaten to leave her, like, oh, if you're so unhappy with me, then I'll leave, things like that. But and I know there were many, I know Jen told him a number of times, I'm not going to allow you to do this to my kids anymore. And it was the old age, so, I won't ever do that again. I'm sorry, I'll get help. They went through counseling. They had a ton of counseling. And I have to tell you, I have never seen that side of Brian in the past 10 years of him living here. Never.
So this occurred in Texas, but you've never seen it up here?
No.
The counseling they went to, we understand.
Because she started letting him fuck people.
Yes. Not for his anger, not for it was, through this affair. I think the first time, and I could be wrong with this because there were things I was on the East Coast with, but years later now, because we've talked about it a number of times years later, Jennifer's talked, just even to help other people through their marriage. She's very open about it. She doesn't hide that, she's talked with women in her church about how she went through marital things and, blah, blah. But I do believe the first time they started going to counseling was when this whole affair thing happened.
All right, tell us about that. What you know about it.
All I know is that it was with a patient, is what I believe. And he was inappropriate. I don't know a name. I don't know even if she was married or not married. I hate to give you guys anything that I don't know solid.
That's fine.
She talks about it as the time when he had the affair on me and how, if she'll say chest issues or she'll refer back to that time. But I really don't know details.
How about photography? Anything about taking pictures of?
Oh gosh. It's kind of a little joke, which is not really a joke.
Yeah, let's slow down here because we're missing a bunch of details here. So the affair that happened with a patient, was this a one-time thing or was it multiple times?
I think it had gone on for an extended period of time, but after he got caught,
months,
it did not happen again. I don't know how long, but it was a period of time.
Just with one woman or with more than one?
With this situation that he got caught on.
Are you aware of infidelity in their marriage in more than this one situation? How did he get caught?
I don't know.
You'd think you would know that.
And you said you don't know whether the woman was married or
I don't know.
Did he immediately break things off with her when he got caught, or not?
I'm so sorry, I don't have more to give you for that.
Was there some danger of him losing his practice over this relationship?
Oh, yes.
Why?
In fact, I do believe that's why they moved out here.
Why is the affair with the patient, why would that cause him to lose his practice?
Well, the understanding that I have is that he had a small practice there that was a private practice, and it got out. It got out in the church community, and so a number of his patients were from the church. And just imagine like it being a Coeur d'Alene area where people talk. He was a very popular chiropractor, just like he was here. People loved him. He was charismatic. He was, he didn't have any enemies. And when this got out, of course, I had found out my chiropractor was sleeping with, I'd be like, dude, I'm not giving you the money to it. So it did hurt him, and that's why they eventually moved here, just to get out of underneath that name. It was not something that was very secretive. People knew it, and that was very, very hard.
Jennifer denies all of this.
You guys, Jennifer literally denies all of this. All of this.
Did they think about switching churches or anything, or no?
And staying there?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was more than just the church at that point. I think she felt like it was more of the community, even though a lot of the patients were at the church. And they've always been very active in whatever church they're in, just like Cardiff City.
Where was this in Texas? Austin?
Yeah.
That's a pretty big city, isn't it?
Yeah. But they were in Austin, but the community it'd be like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like Philadelphia, Pennsylvania has little communities, right? So it was within that community of a smaller little section of Austin, although Austin's huge.
Okay. So after this affair had come out and after everybody knew about it, embarrassment, shame, guilt,
Oh, sure.
all that.
She was horrified over it.
And
People in her church who thought that, he's up there leading worship. He's, they're just like here. He is this, picture of perfection and great little cute family and a wife that loves and adores him, and he's off screwing someone else.
So let's talk about pictures, photography, anything like that. You said yes. Oh, yes.
So did the affair cause them to move here?
Yes.
And was she the instigator of that?
She pushed it, yes, very heavily, because his family was there, and his family did not want him to move here.
Did the affair lead to the intervention?
Marriage?
Well, his family apparently showed up and his dad yelled at him.
The intervention of that. The affair? I don't know how to answer that, actually. I think there were a lot of things there.
So did the affair get them into counseling?
Yes.
Through the church?
Yes. And Jennifer still speaks about that counselor to this day, of how that counselor saved her marriage.
Is that the Reynolds guy? Rick Reynolds?
I don't know.
Rick Reynolds, interesting.
I'm going to launch another investigation of this case.
Man, Living, why don't you turn over all your Discovery, you fucking fat ass?
How long after this came out did they end up moving to Idaho?
I mean, you don't have to.
There was a lot of things a lot of little loose things. Selling their house, everything like that. So.
Now the pictures, photography, those kinds of things.
Brian is known in our family as the one who takes all the pictures and always on his phone.
Jennifer takes pictures all the time.
For years, it led to a lot of arguments between Jennifer and Brian, because Brian is a sex mania. And
sex mania.
Not even a secret within our family, who's very, my mom's very prim and proper.
You guys, this is so funny. This is I need a shirt that says this. Van Leeuwen's like, wait, what did you just say? He's a sex mania? Like, it's maniac? You know what I mean? Like, listen to this. This is so funny. She says, Brian is a sex mania.
Because Brian is a sex mania. And
sex mania.
It's not even a secret within our family, who's very, my mom's very prim and proper and doesn't want to hear about it and doesn't want to, but it is almost a family joke that for years, any kind of picture that he could take of Jennifer in any way. We'll be at the beach in a swimsuit, and she leans over to pick up a piece of bread, and he's right there taking a picture of her, hanging out. And she would get just frustrated, like he was always there in her face. And he had hundreds of pictures of Jennifer. And at one point, it was a source of very many arguments. And I do think that Jennifer just had it with him and asked him to please be respectful about that. And with the whole family, it was a laughing joke. And it to the point to where my sister Alicia,
Jennifer took pictures morning and night.
Favorite, because Alicia called him out on a lot of things. Alicia didn't see him like maybe I saw him in the light of she was more annoyed with Brian in the fact that he was just this sex mania, and it was more disgusting to her than cute.
Sex mania.
To where Alicia and Jennifer had gotten in a couple fights over it. As far as your husband's he's gross. He's a sex mania. I can't stand how he's sex. He makes me uncomfortable. We went to Yosemite this last November as the four of us sisters, and Jennifer and Alicia got in this huge argument over it's just known in our family. I guess my point is that we all know that he's always right there with a camera, and very inappropriately so. Never towards us, ever. I can't say he's ever taken a picture that I am aware of any of us. He was so into Jennifer, and that's why and how, like, my husband and I can sit and talk about. He knows how much I adore Brian and love him because, first of all, he knows that I love him, but he knows that Brian was so into Jennifer. None of us mattered. It wasn't like that.
How about touching?
Get the fuck out of here. Emily, you think we believe this?
On Jennifer and other women?
Emily, girl, you wild as fuck.
I mean, even towards the sisters, he was just always touchy. He's just a touchy, very, very touchy man.
Okay, so I'm going to ask, touching what? Your
your
butt? It was inappropriate.
What the fuck is wrong with Gary Tolson? What a weirdo.
That Brian was inappropriate with me, but Brian was very touchy. So would he come behind you and smack your butt and make a comment? Yes. Could he get away with it like no other man could? Yes. Like that would be very odd for me, for someone else to do that to me. But with Brian, it never felt odd because I don't know how to explain that. Mainly it was just a lot of like, he'd come behind you and start rubbing your neck. And that would be, he'd give you he was the chiropractor. He could be touchy. He could come behind you and just, rub your, and he'd do it right there at the sink with Jennifer right there. He wasn't hiding anything. It wasn't like he was coming on to you.
Yeah, but he was. They were seeing how far you could take it to go threesomes.
He was sexually charged, if you will, all the time.
Sexually charged. I'm dead at
You
these
keep
words.
using the word sex mania. You mean sex maniac?
Yes.
And so what do you mean by being a sex maniac?
Well, because he just always talk about, he'd mention to Jen in front of all of us, like, just needing sex. Like, we all knew that Brian needed sex more than any man. Like, he just was always talking to Jennifer about sex.
I think Jennifer is saying this to her. Saying,
how would that sound? I mean, explain to me what he would say when other people were around to express him wanting to have sex with his wife.
It's so fucking weird. Come on.
We'll be in a living room and watching a movie, and he'd say, let's not watch the movie, let's go upstairs. And Jennifer would be like, Brian, stop. And he's like, I don't know, I could think of much better things to do and sit and watch, things like that, to where he was joking, but he wasn't coming out and saying, let's go have sex. He was just basically beating around the bush.
Maybe he was just joking.
Any photographs of other women besides?
What a weirdo.
We went partially down that explanation, but how about this female patient that he had an affair with? Did he have?
Not that I ever saw.
Okay.
And all his pictures, honestly, were just not even family. It was always a Jen.
That's not even true, girl. You are so full of shit.
So into Jen.
Oh my god, all I did was take pictures of Tatiana.
Which sounds weird because
he was so into
apparently there were times when he was with my husband that he would be drunk enough to be into other women.
Oh, drunk enough? He don't need to be drunk.
He was just, Jen was his everything.
Did he ever take pictures of her that were inappropriate?
How would
I
you
don't know
know
if it'd
that?
be inappropriate since it's his wife. But I know he had a lot of pictures on his.
Did he ever take pictures of her that she didn't know he was taking pictures of her?
He was always taking pictures of her that she didn't know he was taking, and that's what annoyed her. Like, she'd look up and she would say, I just feel like you're like, I have no privacy. And I could just see the conversations like, Brian, please. And she'd have that conversation right there with us of just annoyance. And Brian was
Brian's the one with the password on his phone and fucking had to put a little app, on his fucking phone, catching her going in his phone. Like, Emily, You, the naive one, you believed everything that your sister just fed you.
Tell and laugh and get away with it because he can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how about women outside? And the reason I'm going down this road is because we don't know if he was doing this up here. We don't know if he was doing it up in Bonner's Ferry and somebody caught him or somebody was irritated or somebody goes, hey.
It was one of my first thoughts. When I got the call, it was one of my first thoughts.
That he was.
That the person who had killed him was somebody who had found out that he was with their wife, his wife. Honestly, it was my first thought. People said, I mean, one of the men I cleaned for, he was an 80-year-old man who used to be in medicine, and Brian and him have talked over the years. And when I said to this man, well, for months, he said, I still don't understand why Brian's out there living this double life. And I say, why do you say double life? He needs to be home with his family. I'm 100% aware. I am 100% sure that he's out there doing things he shouldn't be doing. Not because Brian had ever told him, because I flat out asked him, Joe, he's 80 years old. You know, I clean for him. He's very, and although Jennifer used to work for this man. So over the years, whenever they come to visit, they stop to see Joe. They're not close. They never hung out like that. He never worked for him. But Joe says to me, he's an alcoholic. And he knew that just from all this. He says, and I am 100% sure that the reason why he is choosing not to close that Bonner's Ferry practice is because he loves what he's doing up there. He loves that he doesn't come home 3 nights a week and gets to be away from his wife without Jennifer questioning him. Jennifer is a nag. I love her. Jennifer is a nag. I mean, she's always on Brian. And Brian would admit to Matt, like, it's nice. It's really nice to see my patient and call my wife and be able to go to the gym and eat here and not have to do any of that crap. Well, I, on the other side of it, being the sister, would be like, you bum. Yeah, it must be nice while my sister's freaking doing everything for 4 kids. And that was out of love because I love Brian. And it was this anger of like, yes, you're providing and sending home the paychecks, but you know full well why Jennifer's trying to get you out of Bonner's Ferry and get you up here to a practice, and you're not pushing it because you like what you're doing.
No, because that's the only place he made money.
Oh, yeah, and she's tried for quite a while to get him to close that practice.
How about the one in Sandpoint?
Well, in Sandpoint, he's not staying up there like he was Bonner's Ferry, so I never heard that as a push. I always heard her pushing, really trying to get Brian. Oh, we might have a lead for him to be here, and she told us that so many times. We kind of went, oh, yeah. But if Brian made happen what Brian wanted to happen.
100%.
If Brian didn't want to be in Bonner's Ferry, Brian would have years ago, however long ago, shut down that practice and come home. If he was really mournful about the fact that he wasn't at home each night.
Correct.
I'm sorry. I know a lot of this sounds harsh, but at this point, I'm not going to beat around the bush about it because the goal for me is like, Jen needs to know. Jen doesn't need to know this. Jen came to me in tears and said, I need to know what you and Matt know that I didn't know. I need to know, was I really married to a man that was living a double life? Like, she's questioning this. Of course she is. She's not stupid. I mean, I've wondered if she's that naive, but even in this, she's questioning all this. And even when she's hearing back, like, Chuck is gone, and there's nothing, and it just makes me feel so good to know that, he wasn't talking with another girl. And even in that, I'm like, okay. Like, if that's what you need to hear right now, I mean, it's such a crazy time right now. I'm trying to process through all this. So no, I'm not going to sit and tell Jennifer this. I don't think it serves any purpose. Will I tell you? In hopes that.
So I keep coming back to this, and you kind of touched on the answer to this question a little bit, but why he stays up there? Is it just because he doesn't want to have to come home and deal with being a dad and a father?
Money.
Well, I know how much he loves his family, but I really think he likes the break, and he's told Matt that.
Well, he stays up there Monday night and Thursday night. We work. That's part of our area of operation that we work up at Bonner's Ferry. And it's never occurred to me to spend the night up there, no matter how late it is. I want to drive home and sleep in my own bed.
Well, and it's
Bonner's Ferry.
Yeah,
I mean, what am I going to do? If he had a practice in Sandpoint, why wouldn't he at least drive to Sandpoint for the next day and stay in Sandpoint instead of staying in Bonner's Ferry?
Well, that's where you think what's up there.
And then the other thing is he had a pull-out couch apparently in his office that he would sleep on, and I can't.
Van Leuven, the reason Brian stayed in Bonner's Ferry on Thursday night is very, very important, and it's a very big part of the case. You complete moron. It's a very important part of the case because, I mean, do you listen to the people that you interview?
I imagine a guy with back problems, with a broken leg and everything else, wanting to sleep on a pull-out couch.
So you question, my husband's in medicine, so you question him if he forgets to bring it up about the medical part of this.
Here we go.
Because I don't understand all this, but the day that he broke his leg or whatever, Matt called and said, something's not right. And this was weeks ago. He said, I'm telling you medically, this is not possible. And for days, it would not leave him. He kept saying, Emily, something is not right here. Something's not right. And it just grated on him and grated on him. And he called Jen and said, tell me again how this happened. What did Brian tell you how he broke his leg? So just remember, because Matt, I feel like he has a lot on his mind. I want you to just ask him the medical part for you to say, he's sitting on a couch with that.
Exactly.
Something was holding Brian up in Bonner's Ferry.
Well, he apparently had some back circumstance where his back, he had something where he fell down on the floor.
Why aren't you asking more questions about that, Van Leuven? They're telling you that it didn't happen the way that Jennifer is saying that it happened. Wouldn't you be like, wait, what do you mean? Dude, right before this guy was shot and killed, his leg was broke. And what the sister here is saying is that it was broke by basically somebody taking a blunt force object and bashing it and crushing it. Not by slipping and falling on ice. Mind you, that wasn't even there, but and there's cameras in the parking lot and didn't catch it. So what?
His practice up there, he had to call for help because he couldn't get up. What was that about?
I mean, we hear it just like that. Is there's a lot of things that just don't add up. And there were times when I know he was drinking up there because
who cares?
Jennifer would tell me however many times she wanted to that he would not drink while he was practicing, which I believe is absolutely false. There were times that he would sleep through his alarm and a patient would show up at the door and he wasn't even awake for it. I'm like, really, Jen? And you think he was just tired the night before? Like things like that that's when I would want to shake her and just say, why are you so naive but of course I didn't see any.
Exactly. He was canceling his clients' appointments all the time, which is the opposite of somebody that's claiming that the motive is because you're stealing patients. Like, this is crazy.
I guess coming down the pike, so you just shut your mouth and it's none of my business. This is your marriage, and if you want to look the other way, which is what I thought she was doing a lot of, is just looking the other way, because I knew she was looking the other way with the drinking.
Would you estimate that he's violent when he drinks? You said that there was some child abuse.
No.
Is that during drinking or frustration? But
that's the thing. I've been around him so much when he's drinking, and I see how much he drinks, and I'm like, how in the world can he not be affected by this? He was never, ever since he's moved here, I've never seen him be violent.
So he's drinking enough up there that the liquor store employees know him.
Right.
Comes in a lot.
Yeah.
Buys the same kind of bottom shelf vodka. And he's got vodka in water bottles on his desk.
Every family outing.
So how does he drink in Bonner's Ferry that much and come home and not drink?
He is coming home and drinking. That's the whole point.
How does she not know that?
She does, or she doesn't give a fuck.
I've been married for 20-some years. I drink. My wife knows when I drink.
She's telling you that, Van Leuven, you stupid fat fuck. Just because
that's what I'm telling you, is that's why I want to shake her, because when she's looking at me going, yeah, he hasn't drank for 3 months.
Well, my guess was that the reason why he's staying up there is because he doesn't want to get a DUI, and so he's concerned about that.
Okay, that's fair, but I don't believe that.
Well, because he's drinking.
You want to know why I don't believe it?
Yeah.
Because Brian could get in the car behind that steering wheel and drive 6 hours and never get pulled over. That was never a fear of Brian's. I saw Brian get behind the wheel after drinking so many times. I don't think that he, in his mind, you want to know why he doesn't want to come home? Because he doesn't want to be nagged by my sister.
Okay.
My sister's apparently not watching his every move, but in a sense watching his every move.
Can she not smell the alcohol in his breath? When you drink, your
I
body.
mean, he always has a piece of gum in his mouth, which doesn't cover it up, but he does what he can. He puts on his little deodorant. He always is chewing gum. So his water bottle like this at every family outing, and he would wake up with his water bottle. He would come into the kitchen with his water bottle.
How does she not smell that?
No, okay, right there. That's you did that to your sister right
I
there.
know that, and that's where I just
Boom. Gotcha.
See, part of me is torn with Emily's this isn't her testimony, obviously, but this is her interview. And part of me is torn if I believe that Emily's saying all these things because it's actually like, is she saying some of the stuff on purpose?
The water bottles. Are you wild?
pretending or whatever she did, she's not that naive. That's what Matt and I have said for even these past months.
There you go, Emily. See, you restore my faith, girl. She is not that naive. She knows. So then why is she acting like it? And it's like, well.
For all these things leading up to this, with his back, with his leg, with all this, Matt's like, your sister maybe, she cannot be this naive, Emily. He's said it a dozen times to me. Your sister is not this naive. He's said it a dozen times to me. And in front of everyone, be like, I am doing so good. And Matt would just be on the side going, do you all believe this?
Yeah,
like,
no.
come on. I say, honey, I mean, what do you want us to do? Like,
well, is it getting worse or was it going, getting better
as far as the drinking?
Well, the relationship and his drinking and his outlook. I mean, we heard a lot of people saying that he was kind of down and depressed after the back injury. And
the very last text he sent my husband was something along the lines of, I am so devastatingly depressed right now. I'm so, that was the very last text he said to him. Brian was very depressed these last few 6, 8 weeks. Very, very depressed. I mean, he had reason to be. He went through some major injuries and surgeries and whatnot, so you kind of think that that's why.
Do you think that it's possible that he was considering suicide and having somebody help him?
Matt mentioned that to me. From a medical point, he knew that he had access to some hard narcotics, pain medication, and he knows the implications of that. And so he actually.
How did Brian have access to that? Just because of his injury? He'd been prescribed medication or had prescriptions available to him if he wanted them. Do you know if he'd had any of those pills that he was using?
I thought that could be.
Matt works with pain management, so he prescribes a lot of narcotics, and so he knows a lot more about that. But in trying to process through this, one of the very things Matt said to me is, I just wonder, Emily, if he was so down that instead of him doing this himself to where Jennifer would always be left with that knowledge, that he hired somebody to do this, to end it for him so that he didn't have to. So he did, I mean, he thought through that. I never thought through that, but he did on that level and said that it just seems all too, he knew exactly when Brian was done, where he was at, how clean it was,
There is some odd coincidence in the fact that he was on the phone with his wife when that happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did he ever talk about life insurance or anything like that?
I remember years ago, this was years ago, Jennifer being upset. Jennifer was upset at Brian a lot for being irresponsible financially, and that is why Jennifer did the majority of the bills, because Brian just would spend, wouldn't save, different things like that. Bills wouldn't get paid. And again, we were
none of this is true.
You guys, none of that's true. The paper trail with their money, if you go to like the credit cards or like the ATM withdrawals or just their spending. The only person that spent money in that house was Jennifer Drake. Brian was spending money on gas to get to work, okay, food while he was at work, and that's it. Obviously his alcohol, but like going to like Super Ones, like that's what I'm talking about. Yep. Jen was literally a Shanann Watts, was spending money. Okay.
Look like that. So Jennifer years ago started to do the bills for the family. And there was a point, and this was, I mean, I would probably say over 10 years ago, that I remember, and this is the only conversation I ever remember about life insurance, but I didn't even know if she had it, is Jennifer was mad at Brian for the fact that they hadn't taken care of that. And Brian said, Jen, why do we have to talk about this on vacation? Like, dude, I'll take care of it. You know, it just was in passing. And Jen's like, because it's irresponsible. You have 4 kids and da da da. And I just remember them going down that line of it. So when this happened, my very first thought was, I wonder if they ever ended up getting life insurance. So that I do remember her arguing with them about it, but past that I don't remember it.
Have you talked about that?
Van Leuven, right here, you should be like, wow, this isn't the story that Jen told me about how this all happened. Like, it's just crazy. Like, does this man not have, does he have short-term memory loss?
What percent?
Well, we had the conversation the day we drove over. The next morning, my dad asked her in the living room,
Yeah.
please tell me you had some type of life insurance.
Yeah.
And she started crying and said, yes, that's the only thing that's gone right so far. So that was a blessing to hear.
Oh my God, what a sick bunch of fucking fucks.
Let's go back, if I could, to the abuse that you saw.
Van Leuven, you're so
in
stupid.
Texas. You kind of mentioned that he was abusive like a lot when you were down there. You saw things with the kids, with her.
Well, I was there probably for a week during that time. But I can tell you during that period of time, not the week, but the time that they lived in Texas, I don't know, with me not living there, I wasn't as in tune to their life as I am now since they moved to Idaho.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was in their life that was different as far as him being so angry and him being so tight. I don't know if counseling just helped him through that.
Now I know what it was.
I don't know. It's not like he stopped drinking. It's not like drinking was the cause of it. I don't know.
It was a pill he was taking.
I just know I've never seen him act like that.
Did she talk to you about the abuse, like on the phone when you were on the East Coast and she was in Texas? Did she tell you what was going on or no?
I don't think I would say that we talked about it over the phone. I would say anytime we were together and we'd just get in conversations where things like that would come up, she would talk to me in person about it. And she'd say, he promised me that this wouldn't happen again. We're getting help.
What specifically did he do that was abusive towards
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Just things like I would say. Like she would say he'd get angry and throw me up against a wall. Or
Have you ever hit her?
I do believe he hit her. Brian wasn't a nice man then. Those were not nice years.
This was in Texas.
Yeah. I don't know, we don't talk about it a lot now. I can't tell you the last time we brought up the abusive part, but Jennifer is someone that puts things under a carpet and moves on, and almost like, not that she forgets them, because I don't think she'd ever forget that, but almost makes it to where they didn't happen. Like, he's a different man now, that's in the past,
What about with the kids?
Why don't you interview the kids?
What sort of things will you do with the kids?
Why don't you interview the kids?
So the only time I saw, he was so hard on him. The only time I saw him physically hit was when we were driving and he pulled him out of the car. He was so upset. That was the only time that I saw him hit Brenner. And I have to remember at that point in Texas, he was 6. Well, no, he probably was a little older than, because there were 3 kids at that point. It was Brenner, Hudson, and so maybe, because they're like 2 years apart, well, maybe Asha was a little baby. But we had been a number of times, so I'm just trying to think without telling you incorrectly. They were all little, but I don't believe Leighton was born then. But he was just ugly and mean with him. He would yell, and Jennifer was always the protector one to just step in and go, Brian, leave him alone. Okay, I'll handle this, and just kind of ward him off.
What was he mad about?
Them being kids, mainly. Them being annoying, them being loud, them not listening when he had told him to do something.
Did he not want kids?
I wouldn't say that. I'd say, I would think that from what I know of Brian, that I've never heard him say he didn't want kids. And honestly, he was a good dad. He really was a good dad.
So he turned this phase of his life off 8 years ago when they moved here? Mm-hmm. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, I've never seen that side of him. Never. But it was like I was absent at that time when they got the help, the whole affair thing went down, the moving, when they moved here. Like, I wasn't part of their life during that time. So I don't know all the little pieces in between there. But never, ever have I seen him like I did in Texas.
How is his relationship with his kids, specifically his older kids? I mean, he's spending multiple nights a week away from the house intentionally to not be at home. It's hard to be a good dad when you're not there.
I would say that when we were here, those kids adored and loved him. I mean, he'd walk through that door. Because a lot of times we'd arrive on a Thursday night where he was finishing up and coming home. He'd get home after we got here, like, because we'd come spend like 4 or 5 days with him at a time. And he'd walk in after us. He'd come home, an hour or two after we arrived. And those kids, I mean, as old as they are even now, Brenner, they were right there at the door, just so excited to have dad home. But I think a lot of that too is Brian was the fun one. And so Jen had to be there the whole week doing what she did and be the disciplinary one and be on their back and get your chores and do your homework. And Brian was at home, nothing.
And she homeschools those kids too, right?
No, they go to the charter school.
Did she homeschool?
She did for 1 year.
I did not know that, Van Leeuwen.
But I mean, I can see that. Where Brian came home, and Brian always was the one who was like, which was annoying to Jennifer. She did all the work. He got to come home, be the fun one.
He's the guy that everybody likes.
Absolutely. It just played it exactly into where it needed to be. So I think they had a great relationship. And he was patient with them. They shared a love of music together. And so they did things that the kids loved. And he'd take them out and do things that Jennifer wouldn't do with them because Jennifer didn't have the headspace for, being a mom and everything else she ever played. So that, to me, that's kind of normal. But although he was absent in a way, when he came home, he made up for it by just being funny.
Okay. So, hard question. You ever try anything with you? Even when you were younger? Nothing like that at all? Okay.
No. I always just felt like he treated me like a little sister. He really, like I said, he was very touchy, but never inappropriate.
How about the other sisters?
No.
Because you're the youngest, right?
I am the youngest.
Nothing with the other sisters? No. Are you all physically about the same build and have the same hair color and all those things?
3 of us are just like Jennifer. Dark hair, a little more stockier. My sister, who actually doesn't really prefer Brian much, I don't mean it that way, but she's not as wild about him as we all are. She is tall, thin, and blonde hair. And
this is
Alicia.
Yeah.
She didn't spend much time with him.
What strikes me as interesting about some of the things you're saying is you go from one hand of saying what a wonderful guy is, how much you love him, and then on the other hand describing the abuse in Texas and causing you to come to tears, and talking about Alicia about how she finds him gross and disgusting, and then at the same time she loves him just less, and there's a big dichotomy here between the wonderful Brian that everybody loves, that's the most wonderful person in the world, and the alcoholic, avoid my family, take advantage of my wife by not being there, take inappropriate pictures, abusive to my kids. I mean, they're different worlds that you're describing.
I know it sounds crazy, but that's the thing. Like,
how does this not tell a detective that, oh my God, we need to look in the inner circle?
We need to look at this family.
Jennifer has reasons. The child, the oldest kid, might have reasons to do something. I mean, what kind of detective are you? He's so bad.
You have to rule it out. And the only way you can rule it out is by talking to somebody.
This is Gary Tolson. Unreal, man.
Brian could really do anything, and you just loved him because if you knew Brian, honestly, I mean, you could overlook so many things with Brian because he truly, you were the most important person in the room if Brian was there. He knew how to love very well. He knew how to make you feel. He would sit and listen to you for hours. He made you feel, and so all those things, as I'm even sitting here saying them, I feel guilty saying them about him. But if you want to know the truth about who he was, I mean, he was a great person, but just like you said at the very beginning, we all have our things, and Brian had his things. At the very beginning, we all have our hearts about Brian, but at the end of the day, you just loved Brian. And that's what Jennifer did. At the end of the day, I think Jennifer just overlooked a lot of things. She just loved Brian.
Have you ever seen her, and I'm not picking on your sister, have you ever seen her finally lose it with him and she actually pushed back on him?
No, I mean, she's lost it on him a number of times emotionally and, yelling at him and being annoyed, but never to where she pushed back on him.
She didn't chase him down the street with a golf club and that kind of thing.
No, Jennifer she's a spitfire, and she's, she says what she is thinking. You don't have to guess most of the time with her. And Brian knew when she was annoyed and frustrated and when she had hit her limit, but she's just not like that. Even with her kids, she hits the limit and she just kind of.
Oh God, you guys, you could watch like a Lifetime marathon with all this craziness. Yeah. Well, we've kept enough of your time here this lovely morning on a beautiful Wednesday, Hump Wednesday. How large is your turkey? How many pounds? If your turkey is bigger than 20 pounds, let me know. I'm just curious. How many pounds is your turkey? Turkey pounds. More or less than 20. The Spitfire Dragon's like, mine's 16. Oh, we're having chicken over here. Anybody. All right. We'll be back. Much love. See you on the next one. Let me know how big your turkey is in the comment section of the video. Thank you guys so much. Peace.